Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 28th, and we end the month on a high note so far. We continue to just follow the ABM. I mean, from the original reset that took place back over here, moved sideways for a little bit as we consolidated. We dipped below the red and took off. Pretty simple equation on there, though. Shakeout's already starting to get a little bit soft here, so I have to keep an eye on it. We're about to get DOC spread here as it moves above the red. So this could be the beginning of next month's trade, so to speak. And some good things have come out of it, and some other things uncertain. There was talk about doing the healthcare repeal. It's being postponed, so who knows where that's going to end up. I imagine there'll be some negativity if that's not happening, because I know some of the prospects of a tax cut are going to be tied to it. So these are all the things that are moving the market. Everything else is just noise per se at this point. NASDAQ, I mean, it's just a beautiful explosion for all those high techers. Euro back up to the top side of the range. So obviously more and more confidence growing that the EU is outperforming the US as far as growth and stuff. I think we saw even the various Fed sectors downgrading growth prospects. And this is what happens when you get ahead of the actual improvement in the economy versus the talk about the actual improvement, which is probably going to provide some more support here to bonds at this particular point. TLT right there, oil. We talked about this oversold positive jump reaction that usually happens right at this particular point. It doesn't tend to last, and we can see with this orange setup right now, even this 2 reset right here, not likely to do it. And this is off the old ABM, not the new one. I think we can click and see the regular ABM-DO, not the DOH, because that would not be sufficient without getting the dip below the red line. It's going to show a continuation. And this is it's a perfect example. I mean, it may do okay for a few days, but not as high a probability as the ones where they dip below. So that becomes a key element. It's like when we look at this for gold here, when we had the dip right there, responded nicely to it, and boom, and then we got above right at the peak, and we've tapered off because we got the orange into the plus 13.5. At the same time, we started DOC spread right about there with the cyan, and boom. Now, the fact that you get the reset of the steel means that when you start to get crossovers, you're going to get buyback. It's pretty clean. Intraday was a mess. We ended up with a nice reset at the start. Took a little while, finally started to percolate, but really didn't produce a whole lot of anything. Got up to the 50% mark right here and turned around with, DOC spread was already in place at that point, but then we kept crossing. And this is interesting because you start to get this baseline where you're stuck right at the 0 line on the DOC, and that tends to be problematic. Faded, made new lows, and then we ended up with this nice reset, and that was a beautiful when we posted that baby that was about to happen as it was taking place, and that was by far the strongest runner. And then we just ended up with softness pretty much going throughout there. Didn't get any peaks above the 13.5, so nothing was horrible and nothing was great on the bottom side of it either. So malaise, as they say. Have the indicators updated. I will send out billing for those items so that you can look for that in your email, and that way we start out the week fresh and ready to go for the new month. Been excited about how this has developed. Hoping to have some of the other separations tacked in, and trying to see if I can get this final details worked out to where it would include the long-short algo within the actual lines of the ABM, so that we just start to reduce what is needed on a chart. It becomes a simple way to just view it, and then to be able to trail the varying numbers. That's the long and short of it. As always, trade well, and we'll talk again later.